it answers two of the most human questions out there, which are, who am I and where have I come from?
It helps bring your own self-identity to light, because you know what it took to get you here and why you're here.
We know that who we are comes from the people that we came from. We all know that we have ancestors who have done things for us, that have lived lives that have prepared the way for us. And I think family history is a little bit of a gratitude kind of learning process.
Grave markers play a huge role in family history and in genealogy for several reasons. One is that it's a tangible and physical object that is pretty heavy and is not going to be moved. So it's a great resource. It's similar to a birth certificate or a death certificate. It's a tangible object that we can use in family history to help start piecing together some of these different events that take place. We can come back to tangible objects.
The type of story that a headstone can tell you is not just names and dates and places, it's relationships, proximity, and where a headstone is and who's around, who else is buried in that area. Can tell you a lot about that person. Really, a family plot is a family story.
But this one family, when we found the parents, it was just an incredibly touching experience. It was very tender, because when we found the parents, we had the two parents buried side by side, and then there were 2 rows of grave markers to the side of the parents. And what happened is there were actually 5 graves next to the parents, with 2 babies in each grave laid end to end, so that they had had 10 children that died at about a year old or younger, so died as babies. And that mother had given birth to 12 children, and only 2 had lived to adulthood. And that was one that my mother and I just sat down in the family plot and tears were shed. That was a difficult find to feel for that mother. I've had children. I've been blessed not to lose any of my children yet. And I just can't imagine what that mother went through. And as far as I know, there is no record on this earth of those 10 babies other than the grave markers in that cemetery. I've found nothing else to record the fact that those children lived.
There's something transcendent about being someplace tangible, to see a marker, to see a name carved in stone that has survived long past them or any of their physical belongings. That's a tribute to them. That's a manifestation of the love that their family had for them. And you feel that when you visit those places. You feel that love, you feel that connection.
A great memorial for the purpose of genealogy would be naturally a person's name, their full name, their birth date and a place of birth, a death date, a marriage date, and the name of a spouse, and for a lady to make sure that her maiden name is on the memorial, and to have children's names. Those things all help make a memorial that the future can have an understanding of this individual. Other things that are important become what a person loved, what they enjoyed, what hobbies maybe they had, what service they gave, whether that may be religious or government or whatever it might be. Those things can also be either represented by word or represented by emblems or symbols. Those things all are able to be created with the modern technologies that we have. The aspect of granite being the media of choice because it wears 15 thousandths of an inch every 1,000 years. So it's when something is carved into it or made out of it, it lasts, and it's going to be here when those future generations want to visit that site, want to know more of that ancestor that maybe they never met,